was always a dress that my mother made for our babies. We had one baby doll, and we couldn't afford to buy new clothes. She would always make the dresses for it, and now that's a very common thing, but we enjoyed our baby dolls and the dresses that my mom made for them.
Okay, I don't know if it's the best toy I received, but one of the most memorable toys would be a drum set I received. I woke up at 2 a.m. Christmas morning, seen the drum set, and started playing that drum set. Needless to say, my dad showed up shortly after and told me to get back to bed.
The favorite toy I received was a remote control R2-D2 with his head used to spin around and it light up. And I remember getting it and started playing with it, and the batteries all of a sudden died in it. And I later found out that my father and my uncle had spent up all night playing with the toy and run the batteries down. Of course, being Christmas Day, there's no stores open, so I had to basically stare at this toy for the whole day. And I get to play with it till the next day. But that was my favorite toy I received.
Well, I guess my most favorite toy that I ever received for Christmas would have to be my Steve Austin $6 Million Man action figure. You know, and he's like 12 inches tall, and he's he's got the bionic vision. He's got this. It's a hole in the back of his head, but you're supposed to see through one eye, and you supposedly can see a long distance. Of course, when you looked in it, it looked like a fishbowl, and everything looked far away. So that really didn't jive with the whole bionic vision thing,
There are many Christmas foods that I really like, but I guess thinking back years ago, our favorite meal was always at Granny's house, where she made this most delicious turkey and dressing and gravy. And as a matter of fact, I believe it's my family's favorite today.
My favorite Christmas food, I guess, would be gigantic gingerbread men that my grandmother would bake every Christmas. She would bake one for every grandchild. And I so look forward to the gingerbread men. They would last for a week solid.
My favorite Christmas food is got to be the country ham, as salty as can be. My grandmother used to make that growing up all the time. I used to look forward to going over there for Christmas and eating country ham all day.
Well, another cool thing about the $6 Million Man was that he had this bionic grip, which really, he stole that from G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, originally had the kung fu grip, and so here's the $6 Million Man with the bionic grip. But it was probably an improvement over the kung fu grip.
Being raised in a Christian home, we always had a tradition of having a play at our church. And when we came to Boone Trail Baptist Church, my dear friend Irene Bailey and I were always in charge of taking care of the Christmas plays for the preschool and kindergarten, and that was such a joy. And looking back now, after seeing all of the plays and things that we did, we can see these young people now raising children the same age that they were, and it's such a blessing to see how God has rewarded us for our labor when they were children.
I guess my favorite Christmas tradition would be that me, Robin, and the kids, we would not go anywhere Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve and Christmas morning was set aside for us and us only. So from Christmas Eve to Christmas morning, that was our time, no doubt about it.
My favorite, I guess, growing up tradition on Christmas was putting a tree up, which we did well before Thanksgiving. I remember one year growing up, my mother put the tree up in October, and by middle of November we had gifts underneath there to drive us crazy until then. But I really looked forward to having this Christmas tree up there and having it decorated with the lights around there. That was just something that was really neat, and I looked forward to every year.
You know, I was thinking the other day, you know, the $6 million man, you know, how much would he cost today, you know, in our economy? You know, I'm thinking probably the $6 billion man. Or, you know, knowing, you know, the kind of spending the Pentagon does, it more like the $20 billion man. I don't know. So, yeah, he's, you know, his value's certainly gone up over the years.
I guess one of the funniest or craziest Christmases we ever had was after I came home from Duke after my transplant. I asked anybody in the house if they would like to help me decorate this year, and I didn't get a response. So I went to the Walmart and bought a tree that was a kind of just a little metal tree that you're really supposed to put outside. And I stuck that up in our living room and put presents and everything around it. And when my family walked in and saw that, they like to have had a fit. And they just made a big joke out of that because we didn't have a real tree, not even a fake tree. This was just crazy, but we enjoyed being together and we had lots of fun.
One of the funniest things I can remember is one Christmas morning when the children were little. Robin was asking the kids, and we have that on tape. She was asking Chad. She said, "Well, did you get everything you wanted?" And he said, "I think so." She said, "Are you sure?" And he looked around and he remembered something he asked for Christmas but didn't receive. And he started getting pretty sad about it. It was pretty traumatic at the time, but we look back on it every Christmas and laugh.
I guess the funniest thing that I can remember over Christmas was my sister would used to get our gifts and unwrap them to look at them, and we would take a look, see what they were, because we just couldn't wait till Christmas to get here, and then wrap them back up without our parents knowing. At least I don't think they knew anyway. They acted surprised them like we did on Christmas Day. But that was something that I remember distinctly my sister doing growing up.
You know, with the $6 million man, I always had to make the sound effects. You know, like the you know, whenever he'd jump, you know, he'd jump up into the air like that, and so I always had to make the sound effects. You know, you'd think that even back in those days when I was a child, they could have had the technology to put that sound into the $6 million man. You know, I don't know why they didn't do that. Do you?